welcome back to another live stream. So today we've got the much anticipated CPI reading. Yes, CPI is coming out. We've also got the depegging that is going on with Tether. So much to get into. We're going to be covering that off live. CPI reading comes out in the next 14 minutes. Guys, let me know if you can hear me clearly in the chat. And as you can see on the screen, we've got the depegging of Tether, and it's starting to show a little bit of improvement. We started covering this yesterday. We were met with a bunch of, oh no, you're just spreading FUD. Even now people are saying that, but it is something going on, and we need to understand what is going on, what is causing this fall, which took us as far down as 0.97, guys, 0.97. So good to see you guys in the chat again. I know we've been live a little bit earlier today. If you weren't able to make that one, you missed out on a good one. So make sure you got your notification bell on. Make sure you're up and ready to get to work. Really, really important that we can understand what is going on in the market. So before I get into CPI, I know I've only got 13 minutes here. I do want to cover off what is going on with Tether. So in our stream earlier on, we covered off the fact that, look, the reserves of Tether are not the best in terms of liquidity. Some are happy with it. I've never been a big fan of this. I've voiced this opinion for a long time. Over a year now, I've been talking about Tether. Now, in fairness to them, they've survived. They've met the redemptions during the previous crashes. But the concern now is we're facing issues which we've not seen. I mean, if we look at this year-to-date chart here on CoinMarketCap, look at this fall here, all the way down to 0.992. This is worse than the 12th of May crash we had during Luna, right? So this is a big market test, and this is the first time now in this run that Bitcoin has fallen down to the 16,000 level with fears that it could go to 15,000, 14,000. In that sense, what could that therefore mean for Tether? Right, so we know there's a bunch of stuff going on. We know that there's a famous investor who thought he could be like Michael Burry. He's placed $173 million Tether short. Apparently, we've got Alameda shorting as well. I know some of you guys have been tweeting me some details around that. So apparently, we've got Alameda going ahead and shorting as a final like Hail Mary, using the curve pull, which could be interesting. I don't know how true this is. I mean, you can see that there on Etherscan, which is interesting. They're opening shorts on USDT. Could this be their final like Hail Mary? So if in essence, what you've got is if FTX is collapsing and they know they're collapsing, they know that the wider market's going to collapse. If the wider market is going to collapse and Sam Bankman-Fried and the team know so much about Tether, they're probably betting on the fact that Tether will collapse. They'll short it to the ground with whatever funds they've got left and therefore make a ton of money. I don't know if that stacks up. I don't know how, if they've got a 7 billion hole, they're going to cover that by shorting with 250 million, unless that's on some crazy leverage. But that's what we're seeing right now. And again, my theory, I'm not too bothered about who is shorting it. The reality is Tether will struggle to meet these redemptions, and that's the challenge right now. Just like any other bank run, Tether has to meet these redemptions, and things could get much worse if Bitcoin decides to fall to 15,000, 14,000. We spoke earlier today, an 85% retracement on Bitcoin, which is similar to previous bear markets we've seen, would bring you down to 10,000 range, right? So is Tether tested in those environments? Can they manage to pull through in those environments? Let's see who we've got in the chat joining us for CPI 10 minutes away. We've got Barney. Good to see you again, buddy. We got Dragonfire. We've got Lefty. We've got Gareth Jones. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Stuart, Tom, good to see you. Dave B, hope you're well. Do you have concerns about KuCoin? Yes, I've got concerns about a lot of exchanges right now. And the reality is we don't know which exchange is in trouble, but no doubt there'll be exchanges in trouble right now in the background, struggling with this liquidity crunch. You don't know where the tentacles of Sam Bankman-Fried and Alameda spread to. In fact, I saw this one person tweet this. I don't have the person who did it, but credit goes out to whoever it was. Started writing out all the different known contagion effects we know we have from this fallout, right? KuCoin, Galaxy Digital, 76 million. Solana, obviously taking a big hit. FTT, of course. Stargate, Voyager, obviously the deal collapse. FTX Series C investors, Jump Capital, Multicoin perhaps. Aptos is getting some feel. Sui is saying they've not had any exposure since this. Bunch of different kind of tentacles, and you can just think of the kind of knock-on effect and second degree effect this could have. And that's the pain right now. That's what we're feeling right now. Also, the other thing we need to remember is Solana, right? Solana has a big unlock today, where a lot of people are expecting to see hit the market. There's going to be a scheduled unlock of approximately 15% of its circulating supply. Is that going to be immediately dumped? Is it going to be a bunch of holders? We've got to see what impact this has as well. So we need to monitor how that plays out. But what we're here for today is CPI. So let's spend a few minutes just here on CPI, and then I'm going to give you whether I think this can have an effect or not on the Bitcoin chart. Okay, Matthew, good to see you. Pixel Snake Stew, good to see you in the house. Special K, a lot of familiar faces on our live streams. Good to see you all. Appreciate you guys being part of the community. Please can we all smash up the likes. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and help us on our journey to 12,000 subscribers. Really would appreciate that. Good to see you, Dira. Good to see you, Triple H and Alpha Metro. Okay, so CPI previously, headline inflation came in at 8.2%. Okay, we missed our expectation. And now the expectation is 8%. Okay, so we want to see this come down to 8%. Anything more than that, market's not going to be happy. Anything less, I think the equity market can rally. Now, I'm going to come on to what I expect to happen for Bitcoin shortly. Then we need to look at core inflation. Okay, so very important here on core inflation. When we come on to core inflation, that's been rising over the last 3 months. This is expected to come in at 6.5. So again, just a slight deflection down. It's quite a nice expectation. They're not asking for a lot. The market is not asking for a lot. Just wants it to come down to 6.5. That's the expectation. If we miss, markets will not be happy. Remember, this is excluding food and energy. This is the sticky bit of inflation, which they do not want to continue climbing. This will be a concern. I mean, it's already a concern. And then we need to monitor what the market prices in terms of the next meeting. Remember, next FOMC meeting is on December the 14th. Now, previous to today, you had this climbing up to about 60%. So 60% of the market was pricing in that we would switch to 50 basis points at December the 14th, the next meeting, in just over a month from now. Now, that's slightly cooled off now, and after the CPI, we're going to see how does this adjust? How does it adjust to see, where do we head to? Now, do I think this can have a huge impact on Bitcoin? The short answer is yes. So I think to the downside, this could be horrible for Bitcoin because Bitcoin needs good news right now. Now, do I think it can give it some positive move to the upside? No. I think if we meet expectations, then I think the best scenario we can do is carry on some sideways movement in this rectangle we've got. I think that's the scenario we want. If we get a miss on inflation, I'm worried we're going to go back below the 15,500 and we can see some pain start to kick in again. Okay, but right now, Bitcoin does have bigger fish to fry. So this is a real big nuisance for Bitcoin right now, that inflation is right here, slap bang in the middle, a horrible week where FTX has collapsed. There's this tether contagion. There's a bunch of fear going on. Solana issues. FTT continues to fall. This is very, very bad timing. Now, what do we see? Overnight, we saw the price fall into the rectangle exactly as we expected, got to the 15,500 mark. Now we're climbing back into here, trying its best. You can see how it bounced here. It bounced perfectly off our 16,240 support. So it's no coincidence that this is important horizontal support, and we don't want to continuously fall below it. So we definitely don't want to go below it, and we definitely don't want to be falling even lower than that. Okay, so that's going to be super important. Let me just switch off this heater. Too hot in here, guys. It was getting too hot. Maybe it's the markets kind of giving me the sweats. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. We've got about 6 minutes until the CPI reading. Don't forget to smash up the likes before then. And what I'm going to do is let's go through your questions here. Yukiko, good to see you, buddy. Hope you are well. What time is CPI coming out? In 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Yusuf. 6 minutes. We will be covering it off. Now, let's take a look at the previous report. This was the previous September reading. We're going to get the October one today in November. And this is what we saw, right? So you get your 1 month, your month-on-month number, which you're looking at. Then you get your headline, get your core, and then you can see the numbers. Okay, so this is your headline inflation, that there. And then when you go down, start to see what all items less commodities, energy, this number here, the 6.6. Okay, so that's what we want to watch out for. We can monitor it here as well, and you can see that was your 6.64. So we'll be monitoring that together. Stu says, is anybody nibbling Aptos? Not me. Hi, Ijaz. Since you have a financial background, what happens if a foreign currency breaks like the British pound or the yen, and maybe reflect on the liquidity issues with the US bond market? So, Horatio, currencies don't really just disappear, right? They don't just break. They can collapse. So, for example, when George Soros attacked the Bank of England, he won, right? And he made billions of pounds shorting the currency to the ground. And then you just need to build up. You take years and years and decades of printing and building up the currency back again. That's pretty much what happens. Do you know anything about the rumor that El Salvador might have been holding their BTC on FTX? I saw that. I giggled to myself. I mean, if you've got a country that's not put it on cold storage, I mean, there's a bit of an issue there. But I'll be shocked and dismayed if they have that on cold storage. No signal. Oh man, on fire. Ross Chapman. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Gareth Jones. We're gonna get dots today. Good question. I don't know if you don't. No, sorry, you don't get dots on your CPI reading. You get dots on your FOMC meeting, and I think we do get summary of economic projections at next FOMC. Lefty, after CPI, can you go over any of the clubs we talk about, target prices, who's connected to FTX? I'm not sure what you're asking there. If time, of course. Ask that again, Lefty. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Okay, cool. So everybody's in here. Don't forget to smash up the like so more people can jump on our live stream. Otherwise, they're going to jump on some other rubbish CPI live stream where they're not actually getting the real data. So yeah, definitely hit up the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Let's get more people into this live stream. And we are 4 minutes away. We'll be refreshing this page eagerly to see what the CPI reading is. Lots going on right now in the market. I mean, the mainstream market as well. Look at traditional finance, pre-market here. A little bit of green. Tentative, still waiting on midterm results, right? Still uncertain, up in the air. Markets hate, and obviously CPI. So a really nervy day with lots going on here for markets. And let's go see if we've got any updates. The old Twitter front. So yeah, obviously Tether's USD coin stable. This was finally covered on CoinDesk. We spoke about this yesterday, guys. We did a live stream yesterday where I saw Tether starting to depeg, and we were the first probably to break it, particularly on YouTube. So yeah, I mean, look, when people say you're spreading FUD, just be very conscious of who's doing it. It's a very easy out to say, oh, stop spreading, stop spreading FUD, be a builder. Like, such a common response to somebody doing good investigative journalism and actually trying to find what the truth is. And if you, as a founder of a project, or in this case, founder of Tether or the CTO, you can't just respond and say, no, we're perfectly fine, that's a rumor, and show us why. And then you're not worth your soul, are you? I mean, that's the key. I mean, for example, a little bit of FUD earlier on. We had Satoshi Stacker post this, and he did credit Hoiby Research for it. They said that Phantom have a lot of exposure. FTX held a lot of Phantom. And then I got Simone Pomposi, the CMO of Phantom, to look at this, and he clarified, and he said, while they did invest 35 million in FTM in 2021, they dumped all of it shortly after. Okay, so they have very little right now. So it's important that he could have easily just said, "Oh no, stop spreading FUD." No, but give the factual information. I always find it a red flag when someone just says, "Oh, steady lads, steady lads, deploying capital." Yeah, we need the truth. Right, 2 minutes away from CPI inflation. Fear and greed sitting at 22 here in the market today. It's been a tough time for Bitcoin, falling to some painful lows, and the reality is we've got to prepare for some more. I still think we've got weeks of pain with this unwinding. I mean, this was pain we didn't account for. So I expect it to be painful anyway, with inflation continuing to be a pain, with midterm elections and the rest of it. Now with this FTX saga on top, it looks like we're in a bit of a pain indeed. Solana sitting there at $15. Again, this is going to follow the rest of the market. We need to wait for the unlocks. What happens? If all the unlocks are going to come out, we get flooded to the downside. Things don't look great for Solana in complete honesty. They've really just got to take this beating and then see, where does the dust settle? $9, is it $8? Where does it settle? Then try to build this back. Guys, we are 1 minute away from our CPI reading now. Let's sit here on this page so I don't waffle too much. Start refreshing here together. And guys, smash up the likes if you appreciate getting this coverage. There's a bunch of you in here now ready for CPI. Please do hit up the likes, guys. Yeah, over 200 of you guys in here ready for the CPI data. You are the real OGs in the depths. Imagine that. Think about this. You're in the depths of a bear market with all this stuff going on. Bitcoin hugely retraced, and you're sitting here listening to CPI. Respect to you guys. You guys are putting in the work, and that's what's important. We're going to keep refreshing here. Get the October CPI reading. Remember, we want to see headline at about 8 or lower. We want to see the core come in at 6.5 or lower. Okay, so 8 and 6.5. Refreshing. My clock's just ticked on half an hour there, so it should be out any moment now, depending on their clocks. Sometimes you guys in the chats get it quicker than me, depending on the lag and the delay. Okay, in October, all open, adjusted, and rose 7.7. Good news. Good news there. Index was up 6.3. Good. Double beat there, guys. Double beat there. Really good news there on inflation. Let's get this posted out on Twitter, which is really good. Happy with this. This is good. This is good news, guys, and we'll see how the market's going to respond. We've got CPI coming in at 7.7 headline, and we've got 6.3% on core, which is really, really good, guys. So double beat here. Let's see. This should at least stop the bleeding on Bitcoin. And let's see if we can actually get some green. Can we actually get some green here? Guys, do head over and retweet this at Real Ijaz Awan. Help spread this for nation. Great. Okay, so let's see how the markets are responding. We've got Bitcoin up. Nice. This is a really good reading, guys. I don't want to put, yes, Bitcoin has had a down period here, but that was a really good reading. I was not expecting a beat to that extent here on Bitcoin. In fact, that is very surprising. Let me just open up, let's open up a split view here, and let's watch this together, because I want to see the equity markets as well. So let's open that up. We've got Bitcoin here on the left. Let's go to 5-minute charts. We'll keep Bitcoin on the left. We'll keep S&P on the right-hand side. And look at this. Really, really impressive reading. And this is good. So yes, apparently people like the stream when I get it, when the news is good, even though I'm not in control of it. But there you go, guys. 9% up on Bitcoin, back above 17,000. Wow. This is really, really interesting. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the report just in a little bit. In fact, let's open that up together. Let's take a look at the PDF. In October, look at this, guys. That's not showing it there. Where is it? There you go. And you can see here 8.2 all items, 6.6. Why is it showing me my old one here? I need to clear the cache. Apparently, it doesn't have to do it from the other page. This always happens on Safari. Anyway, we'll ignore that for now. We'll just look at the markets. We know the data anyway. It's a double beat, which is fantastic. I will pull up the report here so we can see on my iPad here, and I'll read out to you guys what the key areas were for inflation. So straight away, 0.4% on the month. Inflation is really inflected down, and that's what's important here, guys. It's that inflection down here that the market is interested. Oh, you want me to see it like that? Let me put it up here. I'll get it up here. Here. Is this inflection down. So this is your core CPI. That inflection down is really good news. We were worried. 3 months in a row is going up. So core inflation is now knocked down, and knocked down significantly. Let's now go on to the inflation rate, the normal headline inflation rate. And this is good now. Look at that, guys. That is a big chunk down. We were getting worried. We had a chunk down, it leveled off, and it leveled off. Look at the rate of change, the gradient here. So the initial fall, good. Then it got weaker. Then it got weaker. Still coming down. It just wasn't coming down enough. And now it's nice steep fall. This is good. This is good. Let's see what the Fed rate monitor tool is pricing in as well, because this will change now. More people price in 50 basis points according to the theory. Let's see if we're right. And you can see that's not, it's not reflected yet. Okay, so let's see how that reflects. The market's going to need some time to reflect this. This is taken from CME futures, but you can see that the markets are rallying. They're expecting now 50 basis points from the next meeting. Finally, some good news. And it's not just like okay news. Okay news would have been hit the target at 8% and maybe even miss on the core. We beat on both. So this is really good news here. Make sure you guys head over to Twitter, hit the retweet on that tweet. Hopefully it went out. Yep, there you go. Hit the retweet on that, guys. Share that tweet. Breaking news on the inflation. Really good news for crypto. And that was the only way we were going to get some relief here. Now, do I think this is all over? No, guys, we've got to be careful, right? The FTX stuff has not gone out the window, but this does give some breathing room for Tether. Right? Remember, the liquidity crunch relies on Bitcoin showing a lot of weakness. If Bitcoin can show some strength, if crypto markets can rally a little bit, that can create a lot of benefit. Look at that. Solana shooting up 20% here, guys. 20% on Solana. Ethereum up 20%. Congratulations to anyone who bought the dip last night. But I still think there's a little more pain, right? I still think the FTX saga's going to try to wring it a bit more, but not necessarily. It's not guaranteed. You know, this could be the recovery now as the markets go, hang on a second. Jerome Powell is on top of inflation. We've had the worst. FTX has collapsed. That's the question. Did that the bit we don't know is, did that 15,500 we had last night where we bought the dip in here, was that the final flush out? Right? Has that fully priced in the FTX contagion, or does it want to come back to test it again? That's what we don't know. Hopefully that was it, because with the Luna collapse, we didn't spend ages at 17,600. If we go back, just get zoomed in here. When we had our initial collapse all the way down to 17,600, we didn't spend long there. We started working our way back. So similar. Maybe we can just go to 15,000 and we're done. But it's going to depend on what contagion, what noise continues to happen. This should help Tether. It should help Tether try to repeg as well, because the markets will have more liquidity, which is really, really good. Let's see what you guys are saying. What are your reactions? We did just look at USDT. Finally, some good news. Where would you advise to put our buy orders for BTC and ETH? Well, you should have been buying last night, really. USD looking scary now. Of course this would. Exactly. Lefty, you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. Of course this would happen during FTX. If we didn't have the FTX saga, What a beautiful move we could have had. And I hate to dwell on this, but before that saga happened, we were doing this. We were trying to work to 22. I think we could have been hovering around 22 at the time of this reading, and then we could have broken up 24, which would have been our neckline on that W pattern. Remember the big W pattern here? Right? We could have just finished that off. But FTX went and screwed us and thrown us down there. So, yeah, it's a bummer. But look, this is the crypto space. We own it. Hopefully, you guys managed to buy some dip as well. And I also think the pain is still there. I don't think we fully kind of absorbed some of the FTX pain. We still got some shorts on USDT and things like that going on. So we need to monitor that. But longer term, this is good, right? Ignoring all short-term FUD and scary things and all the things going on. Longer term, this is positive because this is the chart I want you guys to focus on. This. Right? We're coming down. We're finally coming down. Jerome Powell will be happy. This is good news, right? We want to see this really start to come down now and bring this down. Remember, he wants to get it all the way down to 2%. Just pop that up here so you guys can see it above my head. He wants it just here where my cursor is, down at 2%. So he's got a long way to go, but the gradient is good. The fact that he's starting to push it down more significantly means that the 75 basis points is taking strength. Now he's going to make a decision. Do I soften it up because I don't want to kill the economy, or will I crack on and do another 75 basis points? And I think the market is still pretty undecided. Let's get another refresh here. Oh, there you go. See, as expected, climbing up 60% roughly of the market are expecting 50 basis points. And that's not surprising given that we're seeing this run up here. S&P storming up today. Bitcoin up 8% here, recovering a lot of the pain. Back at 17,000, just 17,100 now, but it wicked up as far. Look at that wick, guys. That wick there on that 5-minute candle took us as high as 17,500. Impressive rebound there on Bitcoin. Let's switch it down to the minute chart because it's more exciting like that, and we'll keep it here on the minute chart as I go through the comments with you guys. Can't listen. Your voice is soft. Is it? I'm not sure why. Why would my voice be soft? I'm shouting down the mic. Smash the likes, guys. More than people in here. Yep, guys, please do smash the likes. Half of you in here have not smashed up the likes. Please do hit up the likes. Don't forget to subscribe. Help me get to 12,000 subscribers. If we can do that over the next few days, that would be awesome. And CPI is a great time to do it. So we've had some positive CPI news, guys. Let us get to 12,000. I do want to cover off a few things in terms of some of the contagion as well, but I also want to enjoy this good news because this is a good piece of CPI data that we've just received, right? If we look at it, the yield should now tumble. Let's see if we can pull that up. Where's the US 10-year? Let's just get the US 10-year up. Actually, I'll do it on TradingView. Let's get TradingView up. And I've got the US 10-year sitting here. There you go. So your yields are now falling, which is really, really good. Dollar index, bad time. And this is where things get exciting, guys. When we were talking about this dollar index, what did we want? We wanted this dollar index to have a sustained period of downward pressure. I want to switch over to the 4-hourly because you can see exactly my diagrams here. Look, it followed it to a T. This is crazy. We called this flip-flop here. When this high was created here, I started warning about the potential weakness in this dollar index. Right? And then we saw the lower high. We saw another lower high. If none of this makes sense to you, how I'm managing, I'm not a genie. I don't predict because I'm a genie. I'm just following technical analysis. So use my course, ijaz.uk/TA. It's free. It's free. A free TA course. Go use it. You don't have any excuse to not know EMA ribbons, Fibonacci retracements, all this stuff. I'm good. Like, please, it will not be free forever. And then you guys are going to go pay somebody else tens of thousands of dollars to go learn this content, or you just go never knowing it. So we saw this, we bounced back, we retested, got thrown back down, went back up again, and I wanted to see the rejection, remember? And now we've got it. CPI's given us that rejection from the EMA ribbon. We're getting pushed down now in this direction, which is fantastic. We've got our lower low, right? That was our low there. This low will now be lower, and we can now get ourselves a good trend to the downside. Looking at the daily EMA ribbon, let's look at this on the daily chart. You can see exactly what I mean. Let's bring out the EMA ribbon. We're now below that EMA ribbon, okay? Really important. Let's just clear my drawings for a second. There you go. We're below our EMA ribbon, and we want an extended move to the downside, which will mean Bitcoin can get a relief. Now, ordinarily, Bitcoin would get a relief, right? Because this is inversely correlated to Bitcoin. But this is assuming no more FTX FUD, no more FTX drama, none of those issues. But I still think some of those issues are here to stay, and we're going to unpick some of those because it's not like we've got the full effect of FTX collapse just yet. There's still going to be things going on. They're going to announce their bankruptcy. People are going to try to get their funds out. Other projects are going to come out who are affected. So I do think there are still a few more layers to this FTX cake. But for now, longer term, this is good. Inflation starting to improve. Risk on money should start coming back. But the reality is it's going to come back into stocks first. It's going to come back into the NASDAQ. In fact, let's go and take a look and see how the pre-market is doing here over in the US. Let's take a look here at the pre-market. And there you go, 3% up on the NASDAQ. Exactly as I said, the money is going to run to these risk-on stocks. NASDAQ soaring back today, making up for its losses yesterday. Markets will be really happy that this inflation has improved. This is a really big piece of news here that inflation has improved so much here. So congratulations to everybody invested who cares about what was going on. That's your inflation peaking down. Really good news, 7.7 here versus 8. We got here 6.3 versus 6.5 expected, a double beat, and now we can crack on, and that's good. That's good news. We need to see the next one come down as well, but remember, the FOMC is on the 14th, and Jerome Powell will need to make a decision. Is he going to go 75 basis points? He's going to go 50 basis points. Cool? Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying in the chat, see what kind of questions you guys have as well. Isn't there sold to be dumped? Yes, there is. We covered that off. Here you go. There's a whole bunch of Solana, about 15% of circulating supply being unstaked at some point today. So looking to see what effect that could have. But it's moving. It's moving on this news, just like Bitcoin is moving. Interesting. Cesare, good morning. Good to see you. Debenus, thanks for the streaming. Appreciate you, buddy. Shark, good to see you. Rusty, green mornings are the best mornings. Yeah, US markets are waking up to a lovely green morning today. Here in Europe and UK where I am, we obviously had a few hours of pain before that, but we dealt with that for you guys. We dealt with that so you guys can wake up to green. We put in the hard graft for you. So many week longs. What are we saying? I think we get thrown to the downside again. I hate to be a pessimist. Look, the news is good long term. I'm just saying in terms of short term trading, maybe there's just a bit of a relief, and the bears are going to frost back down. Remember, there's going to be a bunch of over eager longs now. So we just want to keep this in check. But it's good news. This is a good, ignoring this whole FTX, if we could have just ignored these couple of candles here, right? If we could have just ignored this and we had this CPI reading, we'd be doing this, right? We'd be well on our way making a real big improvement here. Because this is that improvement we wanted to see. We really wanted to see inflation come down. We had a couple of misses, and now we're starting to see it come down. So that's really good. Klaus, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Hey, Ijaz, will there be enough diff? Just covered that off. Pradena, can we do near? We can, but I don't see the value in looking at every single altcoin right now, just given what's going on. I mean, look, near's up 10%. Not drastic shakes compared to some of the other altcoins. I mean, you've got Atom up 20%. You've got Dogecoin up 20%. You've got Phantom bouncing 15%. Solana even 15%. Ethereum up 16%. So a lot of these gains, the losses over the last 24 hours are being recovered quite quickly. But the question we now need to be asking ourselves is, will this die down, and will the FTX drama continue to ensue? But there is a big shift, and I want you guys to understand the macro shift, because the broader markets, when I'm talking traditional finance, they don't care about the FTX drama, right? That's a crypto-related thing. What they care about is that they want to see inflation come down, and that is why we're seeing a huge 3.3% move here on the NASDAQ. Right, a huge 3% move here on the 3.3% move here on the NASDAQ shows that money is starting to rotate back into the market. Remember, you got these big funds out there waiting to put money back in, and they need to decide when to do that. So yes, you want to be careful on crypto of a potential bull trap. You do want to be careful of that. You do not want to get caught long in this recklessly. For your long-term holds, you should be celebrating the green, but would you be trading this? I personally, very careful if I was trading this move to the upside right now. Have tight stop losses ready to get out. Access denied. So should we avoid USDT? I don't think the answer is to avoid any given stablecoin. I've given my answer on this plenty of times. It's about being pragmatic and making sure you've diversified your risk, right? Unfortunately, stablecoins are a necessary evil, just like using exchanges are. No exchange is perfect. No stablecoin is perfect. I wish none of them would use our funds to go recklessly invest in commercial paper. But they do. That's why it's a necessary evil, and you should spread your risk such that you're prepared that if any one given stablecoin was to collapse, you won't collapse. Right? You'll keep going. Barney, appreciate the time you have put in recently. Appreciate you, Barney. There's been a lot going on here in the markets, and I appreciate you guys working through this because, look, it's not as easy as ABC, right? You need to use your brain. You need to engage your brain and actually understand what's going on. And that takes effort. People just want the right answer sometimes, and they jump on these live streams thinking, oh, this guy's going to tell me the answer. But that's not how it works on this community. We figure stuff out. We work for it together. We understand what's going on. We want to learn the dynamics. And then we want to be pragmatic. And I can't tell you what exchange is going to collapse. I can't tell you what stablecoin is going to collapse. I can just look at the data and say, oh, that looks a bit iffy. That looks a bit wrong. Oh, I don't feel comfortable with that risk exposure. And I think that's what the aim of the game is here for us. Stuart, Sol is already unlocked hours ago. Then they relock them. Centralized rubbish. Okay, thanks for that update, Stuart. It'd be good if you could tweet me with something. If you have any data behind that, that'd be useful. Hassan says, I think Jerome Powell is going to keep 75 basis points. Ryan says Sol not 15% anymore. It is. It's up 14%. Okay, fine. Klaus, I believe this FTX drama will not be the end of Solana once everything's settled down. At the end of the day, they have their own ecosystem, big adoption, high NFT volumes, etc. Look, I agree, and I think that to the extent that people are panicking is the unlocks, right? It's the fact that people hold Solana right now who are in liquidity troubles. So if people hold Solana who are in liquidity troubles, the first thing they do is dump that Solana, and that's what market's scared about. Market is not making a decision based on the Solana project. That's not why we're seeing it sell off. People are not selling it off right now for fundamental reasons. They're selling it for reasons around the selling, right? The selling and the pressure of circulating supply coming into the market. Ryan is saying half of it's being postponed. That's good news for Solana. Solana already unlocked hours ago. Then they relock them. Gang and bull trap. Cool. Brian, yes. Smash those lights, guys. Appreciate it. Well, did they lock it again? Ijaz, do we still have more pain? Guys, look, let's have a quick recap. What did we have? A double beat on inflation. Good news. Inflation coming in well better than expected. We expected, put this on the bar chart, we expected here 8%, right? This came in at 7.7, a huge beat. A big improvement here. If we look at the core inflation rate, we expected this bar here to come in at 6.5. Came in at 6.3. So really impressive improvement here on the CPI front, considering we've had 2 months of missing. Now look, those expectations were quite easy, but the fact that we beat them so much to the downside is what's cool, right? This was expected to come in at 6.5, and that was soft, right? You expect to be at 6.5, but we well undercut it. And similarly for the main inflation rate as well, they had a soft target of 8%, which would have been easy to achieve, but the fact we come in 7.7 shows good improvement, good steady improvement. First time coming back into the sevens since all the way back in Feb. So this is an improvement. It looks like we've come over the hump from this year, and that's a good sign here for the markets. That is why we're seeing markets improve here today. Pre-market really soaring now, nearly 4% here on the Nasdaq, 3% on the S&P, 2.5% on the normally conservative Dow Jones. Guys, yep, definitely check me out on Twitter. Reaching 2K on Twitter. Definitely support us over there. On YouTube, help us get to 12K subscribers on YouTube. There's a bunch of you here. Please do go help me. I think we're a couple of hundred subs away from 12,000. Definitely do the channel and the content we are trying to create for you. Mike Novogratz on CNBC says Naeem may have stored BTC with FTX. Look, that's going to be interesting if he did that. That's going to be hugely reckless and interesting. So let's see. Look, there's going to be a lot of this stuff. There's going to be a lot of this contagion effect. And we've got to separate the truth from the crap. Understand what is real, what isn't real. And there's going to be a lot of FUD. There's going to be a lot of real stuff coming out as well. We need to understand what is the difference and what impact could they have. Okay, so we need to pay attention over these next. It could be weeks. I think some of this fallout could be weeks. Let me just remind you guys of the layers of this cake, right? The things that could be affected. A lot of people affected, from major stadium sponsorships to crypto projects to crypto venture funds and hedge funds to exchanges, Voyager situation to projects like Solana, Galaxy Digital, Sequoia Capital. Like, the tentacles of this FTX issue is deep, and I don't think we've heard the end of it just yet. I hope we have. Look, I hope we have. I'm in the market. I didn't sell. I didn't panic sell. I bought the dip yesterday. I hope we can recover, and it would be a nice flush out, and we'll remember this as historically being the bit where FTX collapsed. But something tells me there's a little bit more to come, right? There's a little bit more pain to come, and that could either come from the FTX issue, or it could come with some more issues from Tether. Now, I think if Bitcoin stays green and can climb back above 17s and 18,000s, I think Tether will be okay because the confidence will come back to the market. It's if Bitcoin wants to revisit 15,000 again, which again, what news would it need to do that? Because we're now a good $1,500 to $1,600 away from that right now. That could then put that pressure back on Tether. Okay. Aziz, what happened to your KDA videos? What do you mean? They're still there. I'm not taking them down. They're there. Go watch them. Afternoon, Shade. Good to see you. Lefty, Jay Singh. Should we buy the dip again? That's your personal choice. For me, this is not a dip anymore. Well, actually, I guess it technically is, right? It's better than 18,000. It's better than 19,000. It's a good point. Any chance you can upload your course to Udemy? No, you guys are taking the mick. I've put it there for free on Skillshare. Go check it out. If your credit card expired, just get another one and get another 30 days in it. Like, or what else to tell you? Give stuff for free. People want more. El Salvador think already been debunked. Okay, good. I had a feeling that didn't sound right. What? Thoughts on BNB as a DCA now? I think BNB is a good DCA for me right now. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. It's held up strong. Look, it's not even flinched. Nowhere near its June lows. To put this in context, Bitcoin just visited well below its June lows. And BNB, even during that big fall, came down to 260. And its June lows were at 180. Insane strength by BNB. And even before all this FTX nonsense and CZ being heralded as this savior, BNB's always been a strong project. We've spoken about this with our private member live streams as well. It's one of those projects which always go under the radar, not exciting on YouTube, but one which I try to dollar cost average in whenever I get a chance. Steve says, little pump occurring. Let's take a look. What have we got? 9% here on Bitcoin. Let's head on back over to you. Yep, we're trying to do what is called a bullish continuation pattern where you consolidate and you try to move again. If we can get that second push. S&P looking pretty strong here as well. As he says, I mean, new Cadena videos. Yep, I'll do them when the time's right. When the time's right to do an update. I mean, who's doing a Cadena video right now when FTX is crashing, CPI data is coming out? Come on, guys. Mark, good to see you. Appreciate you taking your time to educate us. You're welcome, buddy. Not educating, just sharing what I'm doing, guys. And if that's useful to you guys, then respect. Otherwise, we'll just have some fun. Just on my Tether, I don't trust this market. It also gives you the volatility you crave. It does. Lefty says I need Matic to dip. Matic, another one that's holding up pretty well, right? I mean, if we head on over to Matic, it did fall yesterday, but look how quickly now, up 30% today. And this is all that happens, guys. This is the game. Any coin which goes up really fast because it's doing well, when Bitcoin falls, it falls sharper, but then it can recover it sharper as well. It just has more volatility. You just got to have a bigger stomach. So it goes boom, 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 right? And that's why you're seeing Matic up 33% today. Really powerful move. Wow, on Matic. Straight back to the fair value, right? Once the FUD goes, it goes straight back to fair value. And now what you're seeing is this is a bunch of front running, right? People are trying to get back into this market, ready to allocate their positions for the next bull run. Not the next cycle in the economy. They think, okay, we're through this now. We should be able to enter less tightening policy. We should be able to have 50 basis points and then 25 basis points. Soon he'll be decreasing interest rates and everything's going to be good and things will be green. That's what the market is now trying to predict ahead and get back in the market, position themselves back in the market. Whether it's in their Tesla stock, whether it's in crypto, whether it's in anything else, they're trying to reposition right now. Wakaz, you wish I didn't sell my Matic. Used to be my biggest holding. That's why you have to have conviction, guys. You've got to be able to hold through the good and bad. Shubham says, hope Solana does the same. Solana's doing all right. Up 20% recovery today, given the CPI news. But again, they have a lot of concerns still with some of the contagion effects. So that's not going to disappear overnight. Let's get an update on Tether. Tether's looking much better now, admittedly. Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. Look at the recovery here on Tether. So nobody can say nothing happened. I mean, this is not nothing. It's supposed to be a stable coin, right? It's supposed to be stable. This is not nothing. This is not me spreading FUD. This is a depegging event. Now it's recovered nicely. So good news here. I wish they would just own it and say that, yeah, we did have a depegging. Remember, you got this chap who's $173 million short on Tether. Okay, so Tether moves a percentage. I think he makes $1 million or something like that. 1.73 million, right? If it moves a percent. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers everything here, guys. Interesting, nice CPI reading. Let's see where Bitcoin goes to here over the next few hours. Nice 10% move here. Look, I wouldn't be long in this personally right now. Obviously, I'm in the market, so I'm happy that we're green. It's good for my long-term bags, and we can start recovering. Something tells me there's more layers to this FTX cake. Sam Bankman-Fried still trying to raise funds. He's still talking to Justin Sun over at Tron. Make sure you go watch my video from earlier to understand what's going on with that. There's still lots of layers to this cake, which is causing some of this pain. So, yeah, so that's what we've got. Let me just update this. Hey, cool. Do you guys have any other questions? Let's cover off any other questions, and then we'll plan a day here for CPI. Steve, have we have the CPI? Yes, a double beat on inflation. We had a double beat, beating on both the headline, supposed to come in at 8%, expected, came in at 7.7. The core was expected to come in at 6.5. It came in at 6.3. So a double beat. Markets are responding positively. We're seeing nice move here on major markets. I mean, if we pop this back, let's drop that down here. You can see Bitcoin up 10%. Some altcoins soaring up. Solana up 20%, 30% up on Matic, and definitely seeing some good improvements here. Guess what's up 94%, guys? FTT token. 94%. You could have doubled your money here if you were trading FTT token, which is insane. Insane craziness in crypto as expected. So again, if you guys have some pocket money and you want to play around, check out the links in the description. BYBIT, BitGet, get yourself trading, learn how to trade, use my TA courses completely free. Remember, funds are at risk. You've got to take responsibility. You've got to be a grown-up and only trade if you're willing to and able to learn and practice with what you're willing to lose. Very important. Check out the links in the description. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. You on my Twitter? Are you in my Discord? Are you in the free Telegram? Come on, guys. You're missing out. Steve, no worries you missed a live stream. Good to see you on here. Make sure you rewind and just watch it back, and you'll be caught up with all the news. Thanks, everyone. Catch you in the next one.